Okay, good day. Our topic for today is trigonometric functions of any angle. And kung natatandaan niyo doon sa ating previous lesson, the definitions ng trigonometric functions natin would be restricted to acute angles. So that is, yung ating angle theta is located doon sa ating first quadrant of the xy plane. Now, for this topic, yung definitions of trigonometric functions are extended to cover any angle. And if theta is an acute angle, yung definition natin na i-define for this topic, mag-coincide naman yun doon sa definition natin sa previous lesson. Okay? But first, let us have your lesson objectives. We have at the end of the lesson, you will be able to define trigonometric functions of any angle, illustrate the signs of the six trigonometric functions from the three parent quadrants, define reference angles, find the reference angles in degree and radian measure, and sketch the given angle and reference angle in standard position. And lastly, you will be able to evaluate the trigonometric functions of any given angle in degree and radian measure. And for our lesson outline, we have 1. Definition of trigonometric functions of any angle. 2. The reference angle. 3 is evaluating trigonometric functions of any angle. And last is trigonometric values of common angles. So let us start our lesson by defining trigonometric functions of any angle. Okay? It says, let theta be an angle in standard position. So when we say angle in standard position, that is the initial side is located as ating positive x-axis. Now, with x on ordered pair xy, a point on the terminal side of theta, and r equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared, and this is not equal to 0. The corresponding ratios of the sides of the resulting triangle is, or are, this. We have sine theta equal to y over r, tangent theta is y over x, cosine theta is x over r, cotangent theta x over y, and secant theta is r over x, and cosecant theta is r over y. So, pwede naman natin gamitin yung other part na mapoform nating right triangle by passing a vertical line na tatama dun sa ating point, dun sa ating terminal side. So, we have x as the base, y as the altitude, r as the hypotenuse of a right triangle. Now, since yung ating r dito ay not equal to 0, ibig sabihin yung sine theta natin at cosine theta natin, lagi siyang defined. Hindi siya pwede maging undefined to any real number of theta. Okay? Kasi if we're going to check yung ating sine theta and cosine theta, ang denominator niya ay r. Okay? Denominator niya ay r. Since yung ating r hindi pwedeng maging 0, so any real number of theta, sine and cosine functions are defined. But if we're going to consider tangent and secant, magiging undefined siya if x is equal to 0. Okay? So, ano-ano ba na pwedeng, ano bang values or angle theta na kung saan si tangent ay sec at secant ay undefined? So, tingnan natin ha. If x equals 0, the tangent and secant of theta are undefined. That is, if we're going to get tangent 90 degrees. Bakit? Kasi yung tangent 90 degrees, yung ating terminal side, located sa positive y-axis. Therefore, x is equal to 0 kapag naroon siya sa positive y-axis. That is, theta equal to 90 degrees. Also, magiging 0 yung ating x if theta is equal to 270 degrees because yung ating terminal side located naman siya sa negative y-axis natin. Okay? So, pag kinuha nyo yung ratios of y over x, the ratio, we're going to have a 0 denominator. Therefore, tangent and secant, if theta is 90 degrees and 270 degrees, that is undefined. Ganun din kapag yung y is 0, mapapansin natin, cotangent theta and cosecant theta, undefined naman sila. Okay, kailan sila magiging undefined? Ay di kapag yung ating terminal side ay tumama sa either positive x-axis or negative x-axis because yung value ng ating y doon ay 0. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, 0, 180, and 360 degrees, if you get cotangent and cosecant using your scientific calculator, it will display math error. Kasi nga, 0 ang kanilang denominators. Okay? Now, yun yung definition ng ating trigonometric functions of any angle. Yung 6 trigonometric functions na yun, o ratios of the sides of a right triangle. Now, ano yung sides of 6 trigonometric functions? Sa first quadrant, both x and y are positive. Ibig sabihin, yung ating angle diyan ay acute. Kapag naman second quadrant, x is negative, y is positive. Obtuse angle siya. Ang angle na theta natin lies between pi over 2 and pi. Sa third quadrant naman, okay, kapag sa third quadrant, both x and y are positive. Sorry, quadrant 3 should be 180 degree less than 0, less than theta, less than 270 degrees. Should be 180 degrees. Okay? And for the fourth quadrant, x is positive, y is negative. So if you're going to consider the definition of trigonometric functions of any angle, mapapansin natin, malalaman natin kung ano yung sign of the 6 trigonometric functions kung saan yung ating pong terminal side ay tumama sa first, second, third, or fourth quadrants. Okay? Ano-ano yung mga yon? Since yung ating x and y coordinates are both positive sa first quadrant, we can say that yung ating 6 trigonometric functions sa first quadrant ay positive lahat. Okay? At since yung ating second quadrant, negative ang x at positive ang y, ang pwedeng maging positive lamang doon ay sine at cosecant kasi walang x na denominator or numerator yung ratio ng ating cosecant and sine functions. And for the third quadrant, si tangent at cotangent lamang ang positive. The rest of the functions are negative. That is, if the angle lies between pi and 3 pi over 2. Okay? And for the fourth quadrant, only secant and cosine are positive. The rest of the functions are negative. Makikita niyo yan kapag tiningnan ninyo yung ating definitions of trigonometric functions of any angle, yung ating ratios of sine theta, tangent, secant, cosine, cotangent, and cosecant. Okay? Now, ano naman yung reference angles? Pag sinabing reference angle, ito yung ating angle o acute angle theta prime formed by the terminal side of theta and the horizontal axis. Ibig sabihin, acute angle siya, theta prime, sa pagitan ng ating terminal side ni angle theta at saka horizontal axis. Kapag yung ating pong terminal side ay nasa second quadrant, ang reference angle natin ay makikita nyo doon sa ating figure. And it can be computed by subtracting pi or 180 by angle theta in standard position. Okay? And if the terminal side is located sa ating third quadrant, we have here an illustration kung saan makikita natin yung ating theta prime or the reference angle. That is obtained or that can be obtained by subtracting theta by pi or 180 degrees. Okay? And if yung ating pong terminal side ay nasa fourth quadrant, para makuha natin yung reference angle, we're just going to subtract 2 pi or 360 degrees by the given angle in standard position. Okay? So, yun yung ating reference angle. Next is, in order for us to determine the value of a trigonometric functions of any angle theta, we're going to follow these two steps. First is we're going to determine the function value for the associated reference angle theta prime. Sabihin, na-compute na natin yung reference angle. And then, kukunin na lang natin yung function value of these theta prime. Okay? Makikita natin sa table of values yon yung inalo na special angles 30, 45, and 60 degrees. Okay? And number 2, depending on the quadrant in which theta lies, alamin natin kung saan quadrant tumama, we're going to affix the appropriate sign to the function value. Remember, kapag nasa first quadrant, all trigonometric functions are positive. Second quadrant, only sine and cosecant are positive. Third, tangent and cotangent are positive. Fourth, only secant and cosine are positive. So, mag-a-affix tayo ng appropriate sign. Depende kung saan tumama yung ating theta in standard position. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example on how to evaluate trigonometric functions of any angle, how to find the reference angle, at baka bigyan ko na rin kayo ng example on how to determine trigonometric functions of quadrant angles. Okay, so thank you.